Hello and welcome to Wannabe Entrepreneur. Today I want to speak about getting new users to your app. Yesterday I was speaking with Giuseppe. By the way, there was a great interview, a great conversation. So if you haven't, please go and check it out. I learned a lot with him and he said something that got me thinking. He said that he was able to get new users without paying a cent for advertisement. I guess he's an expert in advertisement. His background is marketing, mine is not, and probably that's why he was able to reach that. That together with a great product goes a long way. But for me, that wasn't the case. I had to pay, and I did a lot of experiments and paid quite a few amounts to get some users. And today I want to speak about how I get users, both unpaid users and paid users. First of all, I think that it's really important to distinguish active users, so people that basically use your app, and non-active users, which are those that basically install the app and just uninstall it. So you want to have active users to your app, and those are the ones that you want to catch with either your paid and non-paid advertisement. I have to say that, again, I'm no expert, and so far we have roughly 2,000 downloads for changeit since January, so it's not a crazy amount, but here I really like each user that I have. I think your first users are the most important, and here is how I got them. So first of all, both for unpaid and paid users, you have to define a target group. I will go more in depth about how I did that for changeit in another episode, but let's say that my target group now is basically people that are worried about climate change, people that are already somehow sustainable or trying to live a more sustainable lifestyle, and let's say that, for instance, they already have an electric car, or they ride a bicycle to work, they eat less meat, etc. So those are my target users. And now let's speak about how I got my users in an organic or a non-paid manner. It's mostly, of course, by sharing my app on social media. The network that worked the most is Reddit, because I guess most of the users there are already more engaged. So I basically select the subreddits that are in my target group, so sustainability, climate change. I also explore a little bit with different ones, so maybe with biology or teaching, but mostly sustainability and climate change are the ones that I use the most, and I'm constantly publishing there. Every time I have a new release, I publish there. Every time I feel like it, I publish there. I know it feels a little bit like spam, but it works. So most of the times the post doesn't get that much traction, but when it does, it actually brings a lot of users, and that's great. It also brings a lot of feedback. And another way that I also use to explore Reddit is that we have a blog, and in this blog we have multiple blog posts, interesting blog posts about different topics, and they unlock other subreddits. So let's say we wrote a blog post about electric vehicles, and we just go to the subreddit of electric vehicles and share this blog post there, and we actually bring a lot of people to this blog post, that some of them also install changeit. And like this, we don't get blocked. If I would just go to the electric vehicle subreddit and would share just a post asking for people to install my climate change app, I would immediately get blocked. Like this, I'm actually creating something interesting for that community, and in return I get users and interest in changeit, so that's great. Besides that, I also use LinkedIn quite a lot. Every time I have a new release, every time I have some success on my app, let's say I reached 1,000 users, let's share it on LinkedIn. If I have a new blog post, I also share it on LinkedIn. It's a great network, and it also brings a lot of users, so that's really good. Besides that, Twitter or Instagram, so Giuseppe, for instance, he said that he used Instagram quite a lot. For me, I cannot work with it. I don't know what works with Instagram, so in the past, for other projects, I tried some bots and so on. I can speak about that in another episode, but yeah, it didn't work for me. Another thing that worked was actually Hacker News. Hacker News is actually super good when it works, but it's super rare that it actually gets trending. So I sometimes just go there, play around with titles, and then forget about it. And it only actually worked once, but when it did, it got me immediately about 150 new users. So that was great. Yeah, and that's the organic way. I also noticed, by the way, that it takes time to catch up. So I also work a lot with SEO. The blog posts are also great to get more people. SEO is basically search engine optimization. So people on Google search for change or climate change or electric vehicles, whatever, and they find your blog. And that's also, by the way, another reason to have a blog. But it takes a while to actually catch up. And now I see that I have more organic users in the blog, which is a bit crazy, since actually the Hacker News trending, I normally get, before I had like maybe 5-6 users per day, and now I got 30-40 users per day in the blog without doing anything. So it takes a little bit to catch up, and you have to be patient there. Besides that, the paid way to get users, I only experiment for changeit. I only experiment with Google Ads and with Apple Ads. I don't know, whatever that name is, to get ads for the app for Apple. So, but yeah, that was almost nothing. For Google Ads, what I did was I created my target group again. I defined how they look like somehow, and I invested some money. I invested in the beginning, let's say 100 euros, and then you can define how much you want to pay for each user. And you can also define if you want user installs or if you want users that do certain actions within your app. So you can actually connect Firebase, your analytics tool, with Google, and you can define that. In the beginning, I just used downloads, installs, and at first I got a lot of them quite cheap, but they were again non-active users. So I don't understand why that happens. It's super annoying. Google is supposed to give you proper users, but it seems that they're just giving you bots, because I was seeing they were doing nothing with the app. But then after tweaking a little bit, saying that I only wanted the English language, saying that I constrained my ads to certain countries, and I was able to get some real users. In the beginning, I was paying €1.50, and then I decided to basically reduce until it worked, and now I'm paying 50 cents per user, and they are normally like good users, active users. And yeah, but in these experiences that I've done, I already spent actually in total 900 euros with advertisement. And that's actually, yeah, for a bootstrap startup, it's quite a lot. But yeah, if you are going through the rail of paid advertisement, it feels they are just taking all your money. It's crazy, and you have to experiment a lot. So normally only big companies that they have the budget, they actually invest a lot of money. I remember in Trivago, people invest so much money in this kind of SEM, and yeah, but for me it's hard. So I much rather have the organic way. And of course, that if you have a great product, people will speak about it, right? It's, of course, let's say in 100 users, maybe one will actually speak about the product, because not everyone will do it. So you still need to get these first 100 users, but it takes time. And if people like your product, they will start sharing it. So that's actually one of the metrics that I also follow if I have organic growth. So if I'm not doing any advertisement and still getting users, it means that I'm doing something good. Yeah, and that was my experience. I'm no master, I'm no expert in advertisement, but that's basically what I've done with changeit. And that was the episode for today. Already a bit long than what is normal, but yeah, see you tomorrow.